And we're back for another episode. My name is Cliff, and I am the boat guy, the driver, the sailor. What is the name for a guy that drives it? Captain, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't like that name. I'm just the producer guy. For different perspectives, the podcast. What's up, gentlemen?
What's going on, man?
All right, we can all
living.
Hear
yeah, we all here.
Okay, good. How are the kids, Tyler?
They're good. You know, my youngest is home and
Zooming?
school. Yep, she's zooming. And then the youngest is I don't know,
just hanging out,
being young,
looking at things and stuff. Jumping around. I guess.
All right. How about you, Jay? How's your household?
Falling the fuck apart.
Okay. Do you want to say that for another episode?
I mean, it's hopefully it'll be fixed by then. It's all shit that should be covered by insurance that's currently being worked on now. Hence why I have a different background, because there's some shit going on out there. So, but yeah,
Mother Nature did that or something, or?
Mother Nature played a factor in it. There was an unaddressed issue that led to some water getting into the ceiling. I had a titty up on my ceiling. Yeah, I had a big old titty on my ceiling.
That's for later. So you have a titty on your ceiling and water leaked.
Yeah, and I also actually it is Mother Nature, because I also had water in my electrical box too. So
damn.
Yeah, dangerous.
Things are falling apart, but you know what I mean. Insurance is a great thing. Insurance is gonna take care of all that shit. So,
all right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you guys lead the way. Let's have Jay lead the way with the big old titties, or would you prefer snakes on a plane? And while you guys are talking about that, I'm gonna go do daddy duties. But because I can multitask, we can do that shit here on this podcast. What's your thoughts on the big breast? Talk about it.
All right. So for those that don't know, that young lady was asked to be, she was removed from a flight due to her attire. The flight crew felt that her attire was inappropriate, and asked her and removed her from the flight, and only allowed her back on once she agreed to wear the captain's T-shirt. It was a big issue and stuff like that. Personally, Tyler and I, we had our debate whether or not the attire was appropriate, and my thoughts on it is, outside of a policy. Now, we did do our research. There is a policy. They were justified in asking her to get off the plane and to wear the pilot's shirt. But the debate that Tyler and I had was, outside of policy, is it appropriate or inappropriate? To me, I think it's appropriate, because at the end of the day, like, who is you? Her nipples are covered. You know what I mean? Who are you to say what's appropriate, what's not appropriate? Like, who are you to tell people how they have to dress? You know what I mean? Like, yes, it might be against your moral compass, and you know what I mean. You might have your own moral objections or your moral opinions on it. But at the end of the day, like, who are you? You know what I mean? It's just, let people wear what they want to wear. You know what I mean? Stop worrying about what other people like. To me, that's one of the biggest issues going on in America today, is fucking everybody's worried about what the fuck everybody else is doing. Like, it ain't got shit to do with you. Mind your fucking business. Let the girl show her tits off. She likes her body. She's very secure in her body. What you got to say, Tyler?
Shut.
Are you being objective?
He's talking a bunch of bullshit. He is talking a bunch of bullshit.
Is he being objective though?
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck Jay's doing. I just this whole let people do whatever the fuck they want and all sort of bullshit, like go vote for Trump then. You know what I mean?
I'll vote.
Whatever the fuck, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like, if it's a policy or not, there's a time and place, man, and it's just inappropriate to be wearing stuff like that on a plane. Like, people got kids, there's older people. Like, I still never swear in front of my mother. It's just a respect thing. You know what I mean? It's just not something that you do. If you want to walk around with your titties and shit, get on a private plane. You know what I mean? What the fuck? That's how I see it.
But that's
Just don't get on it with Tory Lanez because he might pop you.
Oh shit! Shout out to my Canadian brethren. You know what I'm saying?
What you got? What was you gonna say, Cliff?
Let the facts come out first. So I have a question. All right. So on the chat, we were talking about how, okay, if it was at a beach, I guess her outfit would be okay because she's at a beach. So I was like, damn, I'm on Tyler's side right now. But then Jay responded, you know what I'm saying? Or Archie, sorry, not Jay. Forget about Jay. It's Archie Rhodes. So Archie responded and said, hey, man, it's America. She's not being disrespectful. What's the policy? Which makes sense. Is there a policy in place?
Yeah.
But then I was thinking, too, being a man, I was like, I don't mind them jugs. They're looking right. They're still standing up. Gravity hasn't taken hold of them. What's the problem? But
she ain't kicking them.
Yeah. Then I'm like, damn, but what would my daughter say? Is she going to be like, Dad, remember when we went to Disney World and there was this lady showing that? Like, it's okay. And I'm like, damn, I, too, have this moral compass that's like, it's kind of on the line. But then I have to ask myself, is it because it's almost showing their areolas? You know what I'm saying? Diagram. So people there's nipples and there's the areolas. Maybe she has to look at that. But then I'm saying, okay, what if she's going to Miami? She's just prepping to just get out the airplane and just be comfortable. There's a lot of moving pieces, I think, with this one. I don't know that there is a right answer, but truly different perspectives on, obviously both sides. But I don't.
Yeah.
mind.
I mean, personally, if it was just me on the plane, I wouldn't sit there and complain. Like, I'm a man. You know what I mean? Like, if they're there, I'm gonna look at them. But like I said, like if I was traveling with my kids, I mean, even if I was by myself, I'd be like, yo, she's tripping. But I wouldn't be upset about it. I'd be like, damn, she's kind of forcing it with what she's wearing. But fuck it, to each his own. You know what I mean?
The crazy part about it is like, so me and Tyler have had like these discussions about like how to act in front of kids and shit like that. And like one discussion that we've had is like language, like swearing in front of kids and shit like that. You know what I mean? He's like, nah, I swear in front of my kids. I just teach them that that's not, you can't say that, da da da. And we're on the same page with that. Why is this any fucking different? Just have that conversation. Like
language,
it's not comfortable. Yes, it's all about how you present yourself, bro. Like at the end of the day, it's right from wrong. Like you can teach your kid, like, yo, you shouldn't dress like that, or you're against it. Like you can instill that in your child. You got to have the conversation. Like you can't just expect this woman.
You are not selling me on this shit right now.
You're contradicting yourself. You're contradicting yourself.
No,
yes, you are.
Because if I'm
bro.
swearing in my house in front of my kid, it's different than fucking. I'm out in public. Yo, what the fuck? I don't swear like that in front of my kids in public. I would never do that shit. Never.
I don't know, bro. At the
See,
end
that's
of the day,
the difference. If I'm in private, it's different. If she's on a private plane or something worse, like that's different. Wear whatever you want. But when you got people, like I said, when you got older people, like you've been to a party, right? And I already know the answer to this question, but you've been to a party and there's older people. And then a certain song comes on, and you're like, "Yo, they should turn this shit off."
Yeah,
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Good analogy.
But it's a time and a place, man.
But and again, it's all moral opinion. I'm not gonna be like, "Yo, fucking turn that shit off right now." Like I would never do that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Bad choice by the DJ. Just like just like same thing with her.
That's
bad choice by her, but fuck it. You know what I mean?
Would I kick her off the plane? I wouldn't care if she's on the plane or not. You know what I mean? But I still would think like, yeah, she's kind of forcing it. I don't know if I'd go to the extent of, what they did, which they had, by all rights, per their policy. It's up to the judgment of, the people that are working there. If that's like a lewd clothing.
I think that's the wording that they use as well.
Yeah.
But what if that lady that was watching got like little A cups and she's hating, or maybe her like down to her knees and she's like, look at this one, thinking like she's the illest out here, defying gravity, and they're real.
expressing yourself, like your sexuality and your body comfort, and that's a big thing right now, man. I'm
Oh, it
all for it,
definitely
man.
is.
Like
Yeah.
I think people, should be able to. Even though I'm against the shoes with the suits, when we discussed that last week, I just think that's my personal opinion. I think it looks fucking stupid. But
So,
if that's what you want to do,
so all of this is basically again based on personal preference.
Yeah.
I'm an older guy, and I kind of understand that. Hey, I don't, I still don't cuss in front of my mother. I just kind of give her that respect, just because I know, hey,
Right.
you're not supposed to do that, and I'm hoping, not hoping, but I'm instilling that in my children as well, saying, hey, I know when you go out in the world, you're gonna be kicking it with your friends and acting cool and being tough. But you see an adult, you respect yourself because it's an inflection on me, and it's a good example that Tyler brought up as far as like you're listening to music, because you remember in my wedding, Jay, like I really didn't play like the hits until my parents kind of went away in their room. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys want to know what my wife's entrance in it, like our song was, our first dance was supposed to be to kind of walk in, not the Bruno Mars. It was supposed to be that Pop That by French Montana. You know what I'm saying? That would have pop that, like that's awesome.
Right.
Like that. But we had to take in consideration of the people that's going to be in the room and just make sure that they stay comfortable and we are respectful of, I think of where we know their standards are. So I respect both sides. I don't know that there's a correct or right way, but I also think like maybe if she wanted to wear that, and maybe she could have had one of those like little shawls or sweaters or something.
Yeah, I was just thinking
Cover up
that
type
too.
of thing. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna kind of stay on the same type of topic, but kind of veer off a little bit and offer a different perspective. So you guys both said you don't swear in front of your parents. I do.
I said I try. No.
I try.
Yeah. Well, either way, you know what I mean. I don't censor myself in front of my mother at all, and to me, it's mostly because I'm an adult. But I'm not like disrespectful. I try not to be like blatantly disrespectful to my mom. You know what I mean? But at the same time, right? So my nephew, he's 17. He just turned 17, I believe. Yeah, he did. He just turned 17. He'd be swearing like fucking crazy. And I'll be like, yo, watch your fucking mouth. Like, you just, because I think he does it, like, he just forces it. Like, if he's just, like, I don't have an issue with anybody swearing, like, in a conversation. If you're just talking and you swear, I don't have an issue with it. But when you're swearing and it's just absurd or you're just saying unnecessary shit, then I'm like, yo, you need to chill the fuck out.
That's
now,
true.
do you think now you felt that way because of age, and he's like you said, when you were able to get your first legal drink or go out, and you just kind of just went and got real squashy, like, yo, I'm doing it because I'll never have another chance to drink because now I'm 21, it's legal. Yeah, he was doing kind of like the same thing, like, ooh, I could do this, and it's all right.
I think it's a combination of that and just not being taught the time and place. You know what I mean? It's all about like, and it's the same thing like with the clothes. It's all about teaching time and place. Like, so we go to the beach and all that stuff. Like, that's the appropriate place to wear it. But not everybody has those same views. The same thing with the language and the same thing with everything. Like, it all depends on how you were brought up, and you know what I mean. So like, just because you disagree with it doesn't mean that she disagrees with it. You know what I mean? So, and you don't have really any place to tell her or tell anybody really how to act unless you are in that type of position over them. You know what I mean?
Now, let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that culture might play a role in this? And Jay, I'm just making an assumption here, so please clarify or just say, hell no, you're completely wrong. For whatever reason, actually, before I do that, Tyler, what's your nationality?
African American.
Okay. I feel that there's certain cultures, not too many African Americans, maybe more the older down south, and I feel like you might have some old down south roots. I might be wrong. Right?
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah.
So I feel like older down south, Caribbean, and other like ethnicities have this culture of more respectable, like more respect towards like their elders and just respect of like certain things and being in spaces, you know what I mean? Where it comes to, hey, if there's older people, we're not going to swear. Hey, if there's a group of people, you're not, of things, you're not just going to smoke a blizz right in front of them. You're going to kind of just do your thing like in a cut type of thing. That's what I would do. If your kids are there, like I don't really drink But if I were to drink and my wife, we don't really drink in front of our children, even though it's not illegal. It's just like we're not trying to have them see that as much and saying that's all right. Like I'm not really into that. But by my little study that I've done in my brain, I'm just like, I think it's a culture thing, man. You know what I mean? Again, I'm gonna have you be representative for the Caucasians because you're the only Caucasian. Sometimes I'll be thinking like, y'all, they're like, fuck it, it's whatever. Like we can do whatever we want. It's America, man. We're freedom, and we're like, yeah, it is, but scale that shit down a little bit. Let's tone it down. Why are we trying to like expedite these kids and put them into not in harm's way, but put them into adult ish type of things?
Right.
So I really feel like it's a culture thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
it definitely is. You know what I mean? It's like I'll be straight up. I wasn't really taught all that other shit that you guys was talking about. You know what I mean? I'm kind of learning it. I'm kind of learning it through observing you guys and observing my other friends and shit like that. And I'm trying to find a balance because I think it's a balance. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think you should shelter your kids all the way. Like I'm all for exposing kids to as much as possible and having the conversations with them and teaching them the right way. Yeah. I think a lot of people don't want to have those conversations and don't want to have to explain these things. And I don't think me growing up, if I asked a question to my parents or whatever, the response I would get because I said so. Like I don't want to do that at all. You know what I mean? If I'm going to tell you something, and I try to do it at work too. Like if I'm going to tell you something, it's not because I said so, because I'm in a position of power. And I think that's the way that I was brought up. So now I'm trying to find that balance where it's like, if I tell you something, it's for a reason. I'm going to provide you with that reason. And maybe you're too young to understand that, but like, we'll have that conversation repeatedly. You know what I mean? And I think I think for me, it's a balance. I'm trying to pick things from everybody. I try to educate myself all the time. That's one, like a lot of the stuff that I know that made me who I am today is a lot of it's self-taught. You know what I mean? And a lot of it's learning from mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and whether they're social mistakes, legal mistakes, all that stuff, I use them all as lessons. You know what I mean? So, and I'm just trying to use those to make myself a better person. And hopefully when I do have children, they can be a better person than me.
Well, I want to salute you. I want to salute you on that because, obviously, we're around the same group of individuals. When we party, sometimes we get together, and it's pretty dope to kind of see or hear you saying that you're seeing how everybody's moving and trying to incorporate the things that you say, like, yo, this might work. And I think that's what all people should do. And this is why we're having this conversation right now. So that, when you're around, Tyler's kids, that, hey, I'm going to tone down the swearing. Or like you come around my spot, you know what I mean? And you want to come in with your fairy princess outfit, Archie. And I'm just like, right there, or CJ's right here. I don't want him to see that. You could express yourself, but like right now, it just doesn't, you know what I'm saying? And obviously I'm joking. He doesn't wear his fairy costume on the weekdays, just the weekend. So it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty dope because a lot of people, I think, their egos don't allow that to happen. And to me, that's maturation because when I first met Jay, boy, you couldn't tell this motherfucking shit. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely, again, I salute you, give you the light applause. Enough of that. But let me ask you another question though, again, and we had spoke about this. What recently Cardi just had a birthday. Happy birthday to Cardi. It looks like she was out in Vegas. She was celebrating. I watched her IG just to kind of keep up and see what's going on. And it looks like her and Offset, who are going through a divorce right now, they linked up. They're being adults. A lot of people's like, oh, are they getting back together? To me, I just thought like it was her birthday. She's getting really nice, and she's like, you know what? Let me deal with the thing that I'm used to as a customer and bringing some new thing. She wants to end the night off with a bang, if you know what I'm saying. And it looked like it did because some of the photos might have leaked. And again, I'm bringing up this picture that popped up. I'm obviously covering it so we don't get in trouble. And then obviously this part is covered because there's no need for us to show it just in case we have some kiddies watching it. But what's your thought on this particular part? Because to me, supposedly it leaked. If it leaked, okay, it is what it is. But she's kind of getting bombed for doing things like that. Do you have any issues with her and her ex, well, still husband, kind of just enjoying life, taking photos? I'll let Tyler go with that.
No. Why? Why? What? I mean, she's not doing anything else. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. And then who knows? Like, I think they were married 4 years or something, or they were together 4 years in total or something. And maybe she's really not even past it.
Yeah.
It's her birthday. She's trying to celebrate, and obviously, if she's going to celebrate it with him, he must mean something. It's not all gone. But no, I don't see any issue with that. As far as the pictures, I'm a firm believer that nothing leaks. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like there's an agenda behind everything. And how it happened, I don't know. But as far as there being any type of issue, absolutely not. You know what I mean? She's enjoying herself. She's living her life. She has no commitment to anybody else. She's not doing
28.
anything wrong. Right? Like, do I agree with a lot of the things that she does as far as just mainly because like my stance on women and stuff like that, or how I feel and stuff? No, but I don't. I'm not gonna judge her. You know what I mean? You live in your life, just do your thing.
Yeah.
I don't. There's a lot of other things that are deeper into it as far as like what she does and like the message that she puts out and the music and stuff like that. But that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
As far as her birthday, live it up. You know what I mean? Enjoy that shit.
For me, like I'm gonna disagree with the nothing leaks thing, especially when it comes to celebrities, because people would just love to be in their fucking business, and I'm sure
Agreed.
there's
Sorry.
paparazzis or whatever that can hack shit. Like, and I don't know how it happened or whatever, but I'm just saying it's a possibility, particularly with celebrities, because people just are all about their fucking business, and if they can get into their phone and get a titty picture out there and sell that shit to fucking TMZ for 30 fucking grand, you know what I mean?
All
It's
right,
a quick,
that's true.
that's an easy 30 grand, you know what I mean? As far as
Mm.
her doing it and showing it off, nah, I don't got no problem with that. As I said, like I'm all for people being able to express themselves and have their fun, and you know what I mean? Sexuality is way more socially acceptable now.
Hmm.
Um, you know what I mean? So that's her prerogative. I'm gonna take this one a little left too. I gained a little bit of respect for Cardi. I'm not a big Cardi fan. I don't like the way she presents herself. I don't like her music. You know what I mean? But she spoke out about her divorce with Offset, and she said, everybody's speculating as to cheating and blah blah blah, giving up like all the speculation. She actually came out and was like, to me, it was a very like mature comment. She's like, we just grew apart. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, it sucks. It really it just happens. Like,
Yeah.
you just grow apart now, and especially as a celebrity, I can see how that would happen. You know what I mean? Because like
That's
celebrities are
quick
weird
though.
from
It's quick. Like I
everything.
mean, yeah,
Everything's
there's
quick
no
these
time.
days,
There's no
man.
time. That's true. That was my thing when I was like, you just grew apart. Like you just grew apart in 4 years and having a kid and all this other stuff and everything like that. And I'm like, that's kind of quick, but and like you said, like being a celebrity, it is kind of different. There's a whole bunch of shit going on, which kind of does speed up things. You know what I mean?
Celebrities are like a life within life itself. Like you can't really associate with like normal people like us,
Nope,
because
you
people are
can't.
always
True.
looking to take advantage of you. So you have to associate with people that are on that same level as you,
Right.
and then everybody, you're always traveling and doing different things, and he's probably around, like, you know what I mean, different people, she's always around different people, so like I could understand how it could happen. And then maybe she just didn't want to waste the time. Like, she's like, well, I see where this is going, we're only 4 years in, so maybe she's trying to get ahead of it. Maybe
Yeah.
she's like, yo, if I can already notice this 4 years in, where are we going to be 10 years in? You know what I mean? So maybe she's
Good
trying to
point.
get ahead of it so that she doesn't fucking waste her life and then, you know what I mean, end up fucked up and unhappy. Happiness
Yeah,
is key, man. Happiness is the most important thing in the world.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's
I
very
think
true.
those are pretty good points, man. I didn't think of that. I think a lot of people, a lot of times when you're growing apart from the individual, you just allow the relationship to break up and become just a negative type of thing, negative energy. And so I guess we gotta salute them for doing that, or salute her for just saying, hey, she's got to look out for herself. if that is what she's doing.
Right.
And
But
maybe,
so this,
it was a fun thing for her in the beginning. Lust can be misconstrued as love too sometimes. I've been there before, and then you have the fun, and then you come to find out that you're changing as a person, and if that your significant other isn't changing with
Mm-hmm.
you, maybe it's
Yep.
time to just cut that off, because you can't continue to grow by yourself or together if you're
Very
not
true.
kind of on the same path. So, um, thank you for that. I didn't think about that. That's
and it kind of reaffirms my belief in marriage and shit. Like they went together. How long were they together total? Probably like 6 years, maybe.
That's
If
why I
that.
said I don't know if they was married for 4 years or if they were together in total for 4 years. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I
So
don't really know.
but like, so now they're married. It's 4 years in, and like now they're already talking about a divorce. Like, you know what I mean? So they probably, I don't know. I don't know how they went about getting married. I'm sure they spent a shit ton of money on it. Which, I mean, for them it's whatever. You know what I
right.
mean?
Right.
They have the money. But for somebody like me, like, yo, Cliff, I don't know if you can disclose. Like, how much was your wedding? I'm sure it was pretty expensive. It was a destination
I
wedding.
think that's like 33.
Yeah, so 33 grand. That's like almost a year's salary for me. You know what I mean? So it's like
No, it's
I'm throwing. It's more than
I ain't gonna
half.
front, man. It's I don't want to say that it's funny, because when I'm shooting weddings, I'm a videographer, obviously you guys know, and I do a lot of weddings. But I'm always like, oh my god, these people spend so much money. And I think what happens is the emotions comes in. You want your friends and family to be involved, because the plan really was, okay, we're gonna have it here, in Massachusetts. But then I went, and they were talking about like 80 something dollars to 100 something dollars a plate. And then I'm saying, okay, because it's all about money to me, if you guys haven't figured it out. And I'm just like, let me back up. The Italian culture, when you guys go to weddings, what it is, let's say a plate's $100, and you bring a significant other, so it's $200 that the wedding couple have to pay out. Theoretically, what you're supposed to do is you cover your own plate, plus you give $1 to 100 or $2, so a total $400 as a wedding gift, so they can kind of start their new lives, their new beginnings. You're not just trying to go out and party, not really give anything. So my thought was, is like, okay, I want to do two things. I want to keep it as cheap as possible, but I also want my friends to really ball out, enjoy themselves, and make it an experience. So we went and said, all right, we're going to go to Puerto Rico, you know what I'm saying, just to get people out of the rut. And then it just became another thing. And then I just fell in love. And well, I was in love, meaning I fell in love with the idea of like the big wedding and everything. And then the numbers came out, and that's what it was. So I, I don't say I disagree with big weddings, but I think if you can do it and it's not going to knock you back or derail you from paying mortgages or whatever, like you only live once. If it is the person that you say that you are in love with and it makes them happy, like why not? And like you guys had mentioned, they're rich, so and they ball
right.
out. Like got her,
Right.
he got her a Rolls Royce, like for her birthday, and they're going through divorce. So that's what they do. I think they're young kids. The sex must be great. Obviously, they had a baby. He stepped up, and said, "Will you marry me?" Which I don't really correlate. It was stepping up, but people will look at it, so we'll say it that he stepped up, got married, and cheated during their time. The one time that he confirmed, I don't know what happened the second time, but now she's saying they grew apart. So you just got to respect that, man. I do anyway. I think it is what it is. I think more people should do that.
Yeah, and like you said, like they're going through a divorce and they're still spending the birthdays together, and it could just be, she wanted something familiar at the end of the night, but
Yeah.
or maybe they're actually gonna have a friendship. You know what I mean? And that's
Right.
one problem I know. But so I'll throw my own personal experience. I've tried that before, where I tried to salvage a friendship out of a relationship. Um, it's yet to work out for me. So I mean, it's just I don't think it's worth it at this point anymore.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of on the fence about that. It's like, do you try to run it into the ground and just when it's done, or do you try to get ahead of it and then so that way? I think it would probably, if there was a kid involved, I'd probably try to get ahead of it. But if there's no kid involved, there's not really a point to try and salvage anything.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's
Emotions,
my
man.
personal. That's
Emotions,
my
ego.
perspective.
Yeah, emotions and ego. All right, let's get a little ugly, man. Let's talk about something serious, bro. I don't know how I feel about this, but we have a teacher that he's no longer working for them. Well, he is now working. He got his
Right.
job back. But I believe he was asked about the Holocaust, and you guys please clarify me because I'm a little fuzzy with the details. But basically, he was kind of saying that it just didn't happen. Um, Now, he's not the first to ever say that. I actually Googled it just to kind of get a little bit of history. And there's a lot of theories out there and people saying that the Holocaust never happened. That yes, there were people that were killed, they were Jewish. Um, but I think as an educator, I don't know that regardless, it's really your place to kind of say that it was or what that it wasn't,
Right.
because I think the majority of people are saying that it was. Now,
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you guys that it was or wasn't. I have a lot of Jewish friends, and they obviously will tell me that it was. I wasn't there. I see what the books taught me. I hate that I'm just playing skeptic here, but you know just to give it a different perspective, because I know people are gonna say, "Oh, it's wrong. He's an idiot. This and that, and he should be teaching it. It's racist of him, or rude, or ignorant, or whatever the words are." But I think we gotta kind of look at what he's saying and kind of just say, "Huh," you know.
Yeah.
Um, Fortunately and unfortunately, there wasn't social media back then to kind of see it. Where now, like, you see a black man, George Floyd, he's getting murdered in front of everyone. So we can't say that maybe that didn't happen.
His
Um,
birthday was it's either yesterday or today. I'm not sure.
really,
So happy birthday, George Floyd.
rest in power, man. But like, I don't know. What's your thoughts on this, gentlemen?
Um. So, like you said, as an educator, that was his like response to whoever asked him. I'm not sure if he was a student or something. But in his like he can't professionally answer that as confirming that it happened or it didn't. So it's not he didn't happen or yes it did happen. He just said, as a professional and as an answer that question as a yes or no question or something like that.
Mhm.
And it's kind of tough because at least from what I know about like education and what's being taught and stuff, there's like curriculums and you pretty much have to fit what it is that you're teaching inside that curriculum. So it could be something like, okay, yeah, we're teaching the Holocaust, and you go and you went against, or you didn't have a clear stance on whether you believed it or not. I don't really know what happened. Nobody really knows what happens in the room when they got rid of him.
Right.
But I think his answer, it was kind of like a I don't know. Instead of him saying I don't know, he was just he was professional about it. He didn't say anything wrong to me. But they did hire him back. I don't think he's in the same position. I believe he's in a less importance. But
Looks like his internet is low.
Yeah,
It's all right.
I didn't hear any of that last part that you said because he was like freezing and all that
There
shit.
he goes. Now his bars are back.
oh,
Yeah.
It was just the
um,
last part of you just saying that, based on the level of where he stands as far as like his being a teacher,
right.
just a substitute as he this, because we don't know. There was not
I
much
think he
deep.
was
I
like a
think it.
principal. He was
Yeah,
like
I
a
think it was a
principal or something.
principal.
And he
Really.
was saying like in my my educational standpoint and stuff like that, like he can't confirm or deny whether it happened or not.
Mm,
So, which is like I said, like to me, it's fair. He's not. It kind of sucks to even talk about something like that not happening because if it did happen, it'd be like fuck. Like I really believed that didn't happen.
mhm.
Um, but to be honest, like I've been hearing a lot of, and this is just random research and random googling and stuff like that. Like I've been seeing a lot of this whole "Did the Holocaust happen? Did it happen?" You know, I I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and I'm starting to really not fucking like them because it's like it's like you're making me fucking second guess whether fucking McDonald's is like really just a under the like, is it really Burger King running McDonald's? You know what I mean? Like it's just getting to the point where it's like, just shut the fuck up already. You know, like if the world's fucking flat, the world's flat. If it's round, it's round. Live your fucking life. You're not gonna get in a fucking spaceship and go and find out. So like just to get back on point, like to even talk about something like that not happening, it sucks. But I could see why the school system did do what they did. But I also see why they hired him back, because
they're covering.
Realistically, right. So
that's exactly what the fuck they doing.
Can't lose too much money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I think they were right in hiring him back. He didn't come out and blatantly say like the Holocaust didn't happen. He wasn't a Holocaust denier. He just said, he worded it the way he worded it, like he said. Tyler said it was very professional. And he just said, I can't confirm or deny, essentially. And I know a lot of people that upsets a lot of people. You know what I mean? Because I believe that it happened. I think the majority of people believe that happened. But like Tyler said, there is people out there denying it, conspiracies, and it's kind of just making you second guess. And the fact that there's like people that are really invest themselves into social media and take shit that they see on social media as truth without doing their fucking research, they get sucked into shit like that. So I see how it fucking snowballs and shit. I mean, if you just look at fucking 9/11, like we all know it happened because the building is fucking no longer there. But it's an inside job. Look at the explosions. Look at the fucking devil's face in the smoke. Like, you know what I mean? And it gets people.
About that.
Huh? Yeah. So
not about the smoke and the dollar bills.
Yeah, it's you know what I mean. But people really like. I've questioned whether it was an inside job or not. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, well, a plane hit this building. How do they fucking like? There are things that people really ask some valid questions, and it really makes you second guess. I haven't personally heard the things that make me question the Holocaust. I know they're out there, but that's something that I don't even really want to involve because, like Tyler said, happened in 1942. Like, I don't know. It something definitely happened. You know what I mean? And I believe that what I was taught in school happened because I don't think they were. If it was nowadays, and I was learning it through social media, I'd question it. But like, I kind of take stock into what I was taught in school growing up and shit like that. I think that it wasn't all about dollar signs and fucking, getting people to just click things. It was more about actually educating people. Yeah. So that's why I'm a believer in it. And, you know what I mean? You hear the stories and people's, accounts of people that survived it and shit like that. There's still survivors out there that witnessed it. You know what I mean? They're fucking branded. They have tattoos on their arms of a number. They're a fucking number. You know what I mean? Like, some shit was going down. I can't, like this guy said, I can't tell you exactly what happened because I wasn't there. I haven't seen video of, bodies being thrown into a fucking fire and shit like that. And, but like I said, I think that shit was really going down.
I think what sucks is that people are identifying that there's a lot of fucked up people in the world, right? And a lot of people have psycho ass agendas. So now it could be the purest form of things, and people have some conspiracy theory. It could be a kid lemonade stand, and they're like, "Oh no, he's a Trump supporter," and COVID in the fucking lemonade.
Right.
Trump can really make money on this his new cocktail mix that he's invested in because it was which I just found out is privately funded by a private sector, so it's not government money that created this vaccine. So there's always these things, but then you don't want to be like 20 years later and you're watching a show and you're like, oh my God, we were right. You know what I mean? Because they let it out like, what are you guys going to do? It's too late now type of thing. And I think what really kind of fucked people up, and this is going to the left, is like, the show Catfish?
Yeah.
I think that's like something like that. Like imagine, and obviously I'm not putting the two together. I'm actually just trying to just keep that convo going. But like,
right.
People have agendas, and you give somebody that's really, has a lot of time and they want to really put this idea out there. I think you can kind of create whatever it is. But I think now with technology, with, obviously our phones and our phones that are video cameras and look at what we're doing right now. We're kind of creating this idea. We're going to put it out in the world, and hopefully people get to either they'll rent the idea for a little bit and apply it from, not dressing as strippers on a plane to, taking pictures on your phone and not putting them out there or letting, just stand out there. It's just a lot of shit. And it sucks that we have to question or try to vilify or verify the validity of every single thing. It's tiring.
I mean,
It does.
look at the Wayfair shit, man. Like,
That
you know
shit.
what I mean? It's wild, but like the thing that got me to really like be like, oh shit, like this could I don't know if it's true or not, but like I really think it could definitely be true.
Yep.
But there was like 100 pieces of like evidence that were posted, right?
Yep.
To say like, look what the fuck's going on. But at the same time, some fat fuck, greasy motherfucker in his mother's basement with nothing but time could throw all that shit together, and now it could not be happening, and now you got oh fuck, Wayfair selling kids.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, bro. We're in a weird fucking time.
It's a scary world we live in, gentlemen. And I think what we're doing. I had a great conversation with my cousin, my Uncle Joey. He was out in San Diego talking last night, and he was saying that the amount of energy that people are putting out there to identifying the truth is being nullified by the amount of energy that people are putting out there to create these false narratives.
Yep.
People like drama, man. People like getting the rise out of people, like that. And that's the sad part is like with the TV that's being put out there, it's all drama, negative. The news, negative based, drama, negative based. Everything's negative based. Negativity sells.
Yeah,
positivity don't sell. That's why, like, when I'm on social media, I try to, if I see some positive shit, like that dude on TikTok that's, making money off of a little 15-second video, like, I try to promote that shit because it's like, that's a feel-good video. Like, this dude was down, his car broke down, he just made a little video, and now he got a brand new truck, he's got mad donations. Like, that's a good fucking story. Like, I try to put as much of that shit out there as possible.
And I like that you said that because I obviously we all got little different chat groups that we're in with our phones, and one of our groups is Jeff's cousin James, like, loves sharing, and he's slowed down because I've been begging him for over a year plus, sharing like gruesome videos. It's like, yo, watch this guy's head get blown off. Like, oh, look at the third camera view, and I'm like, why? A man died. You know what I mean? This is not the Empire time where we went to the Coliseum to go see this is not UFC. Like, UFC guys, they choose to fight, they get paid, no one dies, I don't think. It's not to the death anyway. But we're not at the Coliseum looking to be entertained by people dying, and people trying to fight for their freedom, but he kept sharing these videos, and I'm like, dude, you're putting this negative energy out in the world. Like you said, Jay, how about sharing like the good shit? Why is nobody really sharing like the good stuff? You know what I'm saying? So I definitely subscribe to that.
But at the same time, like, I'll watch shit like that too, because it's good to know what the fuck really happens in this world. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you tell somebody, I had a kid that was in my program, he was from Guatemala, and he told me that at 10 years old, he saw his first fucking dead body. It was fucking, a guy got decapitated in the middle of the street back in Guatemala. You know what I mean? Like, I like to know those things because I don't want to live in a fucking bubble and not know what's really going on. So you got to balance it, though. You want to obviously push more positive shit and get positive shit out to a broader audience, but at the same time, I will watch that gruesome negative shit because I want to know the possibilities when I'm going out into the world and what the fuck can really happen.
So couldn't you just read it as opposed to watching a video and then pushing a video of a man's head getting chopped off? Like,
you want to watch like somebody's head chopped off.
So no, so like,
you know that your head could get chopped off.
So I won't share that stuff, but I will watch it. Like, I won't share a video of a man getting his head, but I'll definitely watch it because I want to know how it happened, the circumstances of it happened, like shit like that.
I just know it happens. I know it can happen. There's no need for me to.
I don't need to watch that.
To give them a view. Like, I know it's just a view, but it's just like voting, right? It's just a singular vote. Oh, but that's what they do count, which is the perfect segue to what's going on in Virginia. So on July 3rd, so 2 days ago, was the last day to register, which is crazy that people waited anyway, especially with what's going on. But
Right.
we're humans, people procrastinate. And Jay, did you do your census? Thank you very much
No.
for proving my point. So people procrastinate, right?
I brought one to work yesterday. I showed him.
Thank
You
you.
weren't. You didn't bring it to work to give to me.
No, I didn't.
Exactly. So don't try to put it out there like you was
I
trying to
said-
give it to me and I refused
No,
it
I
because
said
that's the
I
way you
brought it to
presented
work.
it.
I said I brought it to work to show you what it looked like. I said, "Do you have one of these?" And he was like, "What is that?" I was like, "The census." He's like, "Oh, yeah, it's in the trash."
Well, you know what? I'm gonna give him a Tommy point. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give him a Tommy point simply for bringing it and having your eyes. But did that create any follow up on your part, Jay? I'm gonna say no.
Nah.
Okay,
You can do it online, I think.
right?
I know.
So these
matter
people
of
couldn't
actually.
register, and because it was the last day, guess what happened? They cut the power. No system, no access to vote anymore in Virginia. Now, if that ain't some gangster shit, that's some gangster shit to me. Trump and his crew, or I'm going to say certain crews, feel as though there's no need for people to vote. Now, a little fun fact before we discuss this, right? So they say 53% of the voters for Biden are going to vote via mail, right? So because they're going to vote via mail, there's going to be a delay of when the
A
votes
few
come in.
days, right?
Correct. But fun fact, you can, let's say you have all votes for everyone already sitting in your station. You are not allowed to count it until November 3rd. That's when you can start, which is kind of stupid. If they're here, why didn't you start? But anyway,
Right.
I didn't get the law. So the law says you can't count them. Trump, 43% of them will go, this is their stats, will go to the polls to vote themselves. So now, if you have a place like a Virginia where individuals are saying a little savvy, like, hey, I'm afraid of COVID, I'll mail it in. But guess what? That's going to be delayed. Trump is saying that if by the end of November 3rd at the night, whatever those numbers are, those should be the numbers. We don't want to wait to tally those up. That sounds a little fishy. And now you're telling me that in Virginia, a state that he's not going to win, that they
Right.
just, you know what? We're shutting down the system. We're cutting the power. Ladies and gentlemen, we're watching a movie. We're a part of a movie. And this man, his power, I know this conspiracy and shit, pretty blatant. So what is your thought on this voter suppression? Anyone?
For me, I think it was just like I don't understand why they couldn't just extend it. And I did read a little bit of the article and said like due to this system they weren't allowed to extend it or some shit like that. Like to me, especially if it's if it's mail-in votes, like I don't see why you can't just accept shit till Monday or whatever. I think it happened on a Friday, so just give them till Monday or whatever. But so that's a little fishy. I mean, obviously we know glitches happen. Is it possible that it was just a glitch? It's possible.
No. I mean,
guess.
fuck that.
It's possible. Is it possible that it wasn't a glitch? It's pretty possible.
Is it
You know
more
what I
than
mean?
three?
It seems very blatant. That seems
You
very
know what I mean?
blatant.
It was down for about 5 hours. You know what I mean? I guess, and then they got it back up. But yeah, I just don't understand. Like, and again, this is why I don't get. This is another reason why I don't get involved in politics. It's so corrupt and fucking just bullshit. Like, why do I want to be involved in that shit? Like, I can't confidently say that my fucking shit matters because I think that shit's all fixed. I think it's all predetermined. I think. You know what I mean? So this is a prime example of why I don't fucking vote.
Ugh. Don't waste it, man.
Stop saying that.
I'm not voting.
You should.
I don't know. It's a fucking mess.
Are you
It's a
voting,
mess.
Tyler?
Yeah, I've always voted.
Oh,
Fuck.
so
Why
I
not?
didn't think-
Whether it matters or not, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather it be if it came out, the all facts came out, I'd rather it be, oh, your vote always mattered, than it be it didn't matter. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather it be it came out that it mattered and I voted then it'd be like it came out and it mattered, and I never voted, so I never really had any type of choice, not choice, but difference in what was going on. But that shit like that shit happens all the time. You know what I mean? Stuff like that happens all the time. And you know what else is crazy? It seems to always happen in like the democratic, like the those heavy areas. Yeah, I don't. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
You're right. You're not wrong.
But I don't think it's ever happened in any type of like Republican. You know what I mean? I don't think it's ever happened there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But it's just huh?
Did you hear about Texas?
I might have. Try and refresh.
So, are you guys familiar? Has anyone traveled to Texas before?
I've never been to Texas. No.
Texas is one of the biggest states in the United States of America. You can break it up. It's like California. You can break it up. It's fucking huge. Okay. So they decided, Republicans, right? The Supreme Court, to allow only 2 places for ballots, like where you can actually go vote
in the whole state.
Bingo!
Shut the fuck up, yo.
Tell me that's not. So again, I'm just saying. So
the grocery store is like an hour and a half away. Never mind the fucking votes.
Exactly.
Yo, that's nuts.
That's wild.
So you're telling me people that don't have transportation, they're willing to do it. You're saying they got to go travel 2.5 hours to go vote. And not only that, when you travel there, there's probably going to be some people to greet you and say, probably shouldn't vote. That's one.
Yep.
Because he's allowed, he's saying that people should go protect the ballots. Protect, right? And then, guess what? Like I've heard in Atlanta, this lady was saying, and I went to go get a patty. Salute to I went to what do you call it? Out in Blue Hill Avenue. I forgot the name. PNR for a patty. And this gentleman was saying that his cousin was in line waiting to vote 11 hours. First,
what?
Salute for them waiting. I would not do it.
Me neither.
I'm not doing that.
You guys are not selling me on voting. I'm just saying.
I know, but are you not seeing the corruptness that we have to? Anything worth fighting for is.
I do see the corruptness. That's why I don't fucking vote.
But that makes it. But that's why
that doesn't make any sense. That makes absolutely no sense.
It's crazy, and it's happened. It's blatant. It's in front of everyone, and I think we as people are giving up and letting them win by just saying, you know what, I'm not waiting 11 hours. You know what, if we're gonna wait 11 hours, they should set up like a barbecue, like a little grill.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
I
was just about to say that.
Feed everybody. Make it like, okay, you guys want to be assholes about it? We're gonna make a party out of it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna wait in line. We're gonna feed everybody to make sure everyone's good. Have chairs. Bring your lawn chairs. Simply because they're gonna keep doing these things, man. You know what I'm saying? So like, we've heard what's happening with the post office. We've heard Trump saying that they're taking away freaking mailboxes.
Right.
This is insane.
It's crazy. Like I'm not too into politics. You know, I'd probably like know the bare basics.
Yeah.
But like I said, it just seems like I know the Democrats do whatever they do. They got their little bullshit. Yep. But it's like the Republicans are just blatant, just bullshit, doing some crazy shit. Nuts.
Republicans.
That Texas thing is crazy.
Yeah, Republicans on a plane showing their titties.
Yeah.
Little shawl. Know it. They do it too. But Republicans, it's my plane. But you're on
the whole fucking government setup process. It all needs to be reevaluated. Shit's fucking 300 years old, 250, 250, 300 years old.
How can you be reevaluated if you're not participating? That's the problem.
There's plenty of people that are participating. Maybe if it gets reevaluated, maybe I'll participate. They gotta convince me, man. Like, I don't believe in God because I ain't never seen him. I gotta see that this shit actually works. I gotta see, like, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta see this shit.
But do you know another thing I just found out yesterday because I was watching the new Supreme I think Amy.
Oh yeah,
can't remember her name. That they're trying to take over.
She got one more day
as
left.
The new Supreme Judge, right? So she was questioned for the past 2 days. Were you aware that the Supreme Courts get? I think so. I think today's the last day. But 8,000 cases a year they only select. Sorry about that. Only select. Gotta learn to
It was
shut that
like
off.
13 or
They
something
only
like that, right?
select 80 of them.
80.
So out of 8,000, they only select 80 a
80.
year. And here's the other thing that's crazier. Being that they're and they know a lot, supposedly, they can't have any discussions about anything going on, like, legally in the world, period. So if it's not something that's on their docket,
They can't
like the
talk
George
about it.
Floyd situation, they can't even talk about it. So said to me, which was very disturbing, is that they can only make decisions based off the laws that were created at the lower levels. So all these little judges, the governors, everyone creating these laws on the lower level, the people that you're supposed to be voting for, say in Pawtucket, Providence, Brockton, Boston, they're the ones making the laws that we're supposed to watch. So if people actually participated in the process, there would be changes. But since
Right.
we're like, I ain't got time to go to hall to go listen to laws or complain about the kids in Zoom or complain that there's a pothole in front of us, or they decide whatever it is and then they bring it up. So again, Jay, I'm going to ask you, since there's only, what is it, like less than 20 days left or whatever it is, I'm going to challenge both of you guys. I want both of you guys to watch, as I'm going to do, watch as much politics as you can so we can educate ourselves and we can discuss this on this platform, because I think it should be our responsibility to an extent. You know what I mean? I'm not asking you guys to become like the CNN. Are you guys willing to take this challenge, though? Is my
Yeah,
question.
I'll do it. I'll watch
Are
it
you
at
guys
work.
willing to take this
I don't
challenge?
know, man. I
Yep.
don't know.
I'll take it. I'll do it. Why not?
I know.
I
It's
ain't got
only
nothing better.
You said what?
You could watch 2 shows. You could
it
watch.
can't hurt.
You could watch a
Can't
couple.
hurt.
Some of them aren't bad. Some of them really aren't bad. There are some bullshit ones, but if you get a good one, you could.
I'll see what I can do.
Listen to 60 Minutes.
Maybe.
Yeah. How about this? Okay. Just so you're not overwhelmed, when I see certain little clips, I'll send it to you on the chat. We'll talk about it. So you're not overwhelmed. So that way you don't have to do all this back.
I think you would like the interviews though. Like, cause you like the, they
too.
get angry and shit. You would like the interviews because they do not like to answer questions, and some of them are really good. Some of the people doing the interviews are really good. Like, they won't let them off the hook. So you probably like those.
That's what it takes for me to be engaged. Somebody has
Yes.
to get angry.
Yes. Yes. But it works. It works.
It's just cute. All right, guys. We have it on record here that Jay says that he's going to do his very best in seeing what politics is about, especially with the elections, and provide his perspective for the show. And we thank you for that.
Big time.
Look at him. He's happy as shit right now. He can't even say anything.
It's not as bad, but I do like. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I do like watching the interviews. I like Anderson Cooper. He's not too bad. There's a lady, I can't think of her name. Lisa Salters. Lisa Salters is good. There's some that'll get into a politician's ass, man, and it's good. It's some stuff that you're like, oh damn, I didn't even know about that, and then they'll try to explain it, but then it'll spark an interest.
Yeah, I'm gonna send a link from Trevor Noah.
I'm not a Trevor Noah.
A lot.
I like Trevor Noah.
Really?
His accent is annoying. Just be like, yeah, whatever.
See, that's the Yankee. Yeah, that's the Yankee in you in there, right there, boy. He said, "You've been here long enough. Fix that shit."
Right.
All right, so let's talk about a more pleasant thing here to talk about people being artiste or athlete. You guys want to talk about that real quick? Mr.
Yeah,
Archie
let's bring it up.
Rhodes, what's your thoughts on being, or when did you first call yourself an athlete? Or not an athlete, but an artist?
So I've been doing art or a form of art, I guess you could say, for 21 years now. Didn't start referring to myself as an artist till like a year or two ago. I just didn't. I've done because I've done graffiti, and for me it was never to be. It was never. I know graffiti is an art, and I know
Mhm.
like it's becoming more mainstream, and I know people are like more accepting of it now, and people are making money off of it. But like for me, I was always just trying to like I was a vandal. I would always tell people, people be like, oh, you're an artist, you're an artist. I was like, no, I'm a vandal. You know what I mean? Like the majority of my graffiti is illegal. I do it where I'm not
So you
supposed to.
said you were a vandal?
Yeah,
Why?
yeah. Because the majority of my graffiti is illegal. Doing it where I'm not supposed to do it, like you know what I mean. That's like I'm not an artist. I'm not making money off of it. I'm not doing it for that reason. You know what I mean. It's more of just a release for me. It's more
It's an
of just
expression, though, right?
yeah, it's an expression. But now, so like I'm over 30 now. I can't really do the illegal graffiti stuff as much. I have too much to lose. So I'm
Mhm.
more getting into like trying to do different forms of art. I've started doing canvases. I'm starting to expand outside of just graffiti art. So now I'm actually like doing certain jobs for people. I'm doing different types of art. So now I'm like, all right, I'm an artist. You know what I mean? Once I started
Okay.
maybe it was a confidence thing. I don't know if it was a confidence thing. Maybe I'm just like I'm confident that I'm good enough to make money now, and whereas I didn't think I was before. I don't know. I don't know why it took me that long, but for me it was like it just took that long. I don't know.
I think confidence probably played a role because I remember you telling me about the canvases that you were doing and showing me some work, and I'm like, all right, then start promoting it, dude. And you're like, I don't know if I can even make money off of this. I'm like, you're bugging. I think fear plays a big role in it because I think ego plays a role as well, which is part of
Mhm.
fear because I haven't been calling myself quote unquote a producer for that long. It's funny in the chat, I was like, yeah, I think I did that probably a couple years ago. I forget when that video came out. Went to California, helped produced actually three videos went out there. One Chris Brown video, did Jeremiah, Chris Brown, and Big Sean. And that's when I was like, okay, I could start calling myself a producer. But even that, I had some fear in it because I don't know that the word producer was really used a lot and people weren't familiar with that. Like if you're like, oh, I produced a video, they're like, oh, you shot it. Or you're the director or the camera guy. I'm like, no. And they're like, then what the fuck did you do? Type of thing. And then even then I just like, oh fuck, I gotta explain it. And then I don't really find myself going out there and saying, I'm a producer, I'm a producer. So I can definitely understand the fear aspect in letting people know that I am, a creative, which is a kind of, obviously an artist. Me being creative is in a different form. Like you at first you wasn't getting paid because you were expressing your art, quote unquote, illegally on buildings and walls or wherever you say that you said you were doing it. And I like to say that you mentioned that before I did,
Mhm.
Mr. Rhodes.
I
And
don't, I don't, I don't, you know what I mean? I
do
don't
that
hide
anymore.
shit, you know what I mean?
But I think fear plays a role. Like,
So even like my job, so my job at, at, at this point in my job, I label myself, I still can't hear Tyler.
mhm.
Tyler, check your mute or something, bro. Check the little mute button under the screen.
So you're saying that's your job, and Tyler, I'll be able to tell when you unmute when your volume comes up because it'll give me a blip.
Yeah, at my job, you know what I mean. I view myself as a supervisor. So like, if I were to go for a new job, um, for me to go to a new job and try to apply for an entry level position would really take some convincing for me to go into a new job with an entry level position just because I've been a supervisor for so long
Mhm.
and that's what I do, you know what I mean? Like I supervise, so it's um like I'm not gonna downgrade myself, you know what I mean? Like I view myself to a certain point and so it's all about labels. It's like when do you can? It's not just about being an artist or being a producer or being an athlete. You know, it's all about the label itself. Like when is it okay to give yourself that label,
That
or for
label,
somebody else to give you that label?
yeah.
You
We
would
good
never
yet?
do another entry level job.
No, that's not what I said. I said it would take some convincing
No,
for me to do. Like there would have to be there would have to be like
a
some
bunch
good
of
reasoning.
incentives.
If you
Yeah.
was hungry like a motherfucker, you would.
Yeah,
Yeah, like if I was struggling and I couldn't get nothing else, but like I'm confident enough in my resume and that like I can go somewhere and skip that entry level. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
makes sense.
that's what it comes. So like I was saying, I label myself as a supervisor. You know what I mean? Like I'm not just a staff that became a supervisor. And I had this conversation. So we play a lot of ping pong at work, and there's this dude I'd be playing every day, and I'd be waxing. And I'm like, yo, are you a ping pong player or do you play ping pong?
Mm.
You know what I mean? And fucking, so it's just, and that's kind of where we were trying to go with the discussion is like, when is it okay to give yourself a particular label?
So so question for you. When were you comfortable in saying, hey, yeah, I'm an athlete? I'm not
When
just,
I was good, when I was actually pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like I played football since I was like 10.
What position?
I was an offensive lineman when I first started. Then I moved to the defense. I was just a little quicker as a bigger kid, so it kind of worked. It worked for me.
I'm telling you,
But
big.
then I got hurt. I got hurt a little bit, and in the end, I tried to start focusing a little more on school. My
Okay.
grades were kind of trash. You know what I mean? So I did track and field too, and I was a discus thrower. I threw
Yeah,
shot
what
put
school
too. I
did
was
you go
pretty good
to?
at. What happened?
What school did you go to?
I was at Brockton High.
Brockton had a discus? Oh, you know what?
Yeah,
Hold on. What year did you graduate, man?
2006.
He's a youngin. He's a
I was gonna
youngin.
say I hate you because y'all beat us in the Super Bowl. I cried.
Oh, Everett.
No, it's Zavarian. Zavarian Brothers House.
Oh yeah. We beat you guys my senior year, and then we beat Everett
All
junior.
right. Anyway, so
But you know what? I do respect Zavarian. I've always said, anybody that knows me personally, I've said plenty of times, if I have a son, I am sending him to Zavarian.
I was saying that too until I saw
100%.
I was saying that too till I seen the tuition for that place.
That's true too. That might be the issue. That might be the issue. But Zavarian is a legit ass fucking high school, boy. They are legit in everything.
Yeah.
At least when I was there, they were legit at everything.
The thing I hated about you guys was the fact that one, it was like a college. Like you had like 100 kids on your squad. So we play both. I play both ways. I'm tired. I just ran like three streaks as decoy,
Right.
and then now I have to go and play safety on defense because we didn't have a lot of people, and y'all just sending. All right, send in the third line. I'm like,
Yeah, that was
really
a benefit for us.
I had a fear of kind of just saying I was an athlete because I didn't start. Like I played with some people that went to the NFL. Like so I wasn't like the running back played in the NFL. I was like, yeah, I'm a running back, and then I seen him. I was like, no, that nigga right there's a running back. I'm just out here. I'm part of the practice squad, But do you think fear? Was there fear in that for you?
A fear? For me, like I said, like when I stopped with football, when I went and started like taking track more serious, throwing more serious, the fear for me was kind of like not being good enough. You know
Mm.
what I mean? But then like I kind of like tapped in, and even though like I think it was like there's pros and cons because I was good enough to get to, you know, like states and all
Oh,
states and things like that, but I could have been better. Like it was an ego. It got to my head, and I'm like, yep, I don't need to lift weights because my technique is good enough. It's gotten me here. You know what I mean?
yeah.
When if I would have lifted weights, I could have probably placed at all states or something like that instead of fucking completely bombing it. Because then it becomes pressure. Then there's pressure. It's like shit, you know. And at the time, I didn't really think about it, but now it might have been like I might have subconsciously been thinking about it. But like I think it was I was one out of two black kids that were at that level of throwing in Massachusetts. So
Wow.
like I don't think I was thinking of it at that time, but like I think subconsciously it was I wasn't comfortable. You know what I mean? Like something just wasn't right because I'm
Mhm.
like, how am I throwing 40 feet less than what I'm averagely? You know what I mean? Like I can
Yeah.
do this shit with my eyes closed, but now for some reason like I can't get there. Um, but there's a lot that goes on with it as far as labeling yourself. You know what I mean? But fear is definitely one for me. Pressure was a lot,
Hmm.
and ego. Like, cause I was like, yeah, cause at the time I was like, I think it was like the fifth or sixth ranked thrower in the state. I was like, I'm
Damn.
fucking good. Like,
Humble flex.
I'm
I
good.
think I think consistency. I think consistency probably plays a big thing into it too. Like if you're
Yeah.
consistently doing it, and you know what I mean. Like like I said, I've been an artist, or I guess I've been an artist for 21 years. I've only been labeling myself as an artist for the last couple, but you know what I mean. I've stuck with it. You know what I mean. It wasn't a
Right.
phase. It wasn't something I did. You know what I mean. Something along those lines. I have a
Yeah.
question for you, Tyler. I know one of your hobbies is that you like to bake.
Yeah.
Do you like to bake, or are you a baker?
Mm.
Um, I think it's just more of like I like to bake. I think I could be a baker. It's like because one thing about me baking is I'm not really into like I bake cookies and I don't eat cookies. I do if there's like nothing else to kind of munch on. But like a lot of the things I cook, I usually don't eat, which I don't know if that's weird or not. But I think if I took it more serious, I could actually go somewhere with it. Because I do like to look online and take different recipes. Like I learned a lot of things, like what light and brown sugar, what the difference of it is, and what using different extracts mean, what using things together. It's like I learned a whole bunch of stuff.
You're a baker,
Um,
dude.
yeah, so I think I could call myself a baker because now I know I could sit down probably and come up with my own recipe without even ever going to school for it. Just
Wow.
because like I've done so many different things, I've done so many different recipes, and it's like, well, it's like common that you're gonna use 2 to 3 cups of flour for this. So like certain things are too dry because you use too much of this, and this cake doesn't rise because you don't use enough baking soda, something
How
like that.
often do you find yourself baking?
What is it?
How often do you find yourself baking?
I used to do it a lot. I don't do it as much anymore just because like I'm a little more busy. I got 2 kids. At
Mhm.
the time, I only had one. I kind of had a lot more time to myself when I was doing it. I could do it now, but I'm starting to kind of value like just my time off to like starting to value that a little more.
Yeah.
Because staying busy, like it's just crazy, kind of like retiring. Like I know this is a little off subject, but um, people get caught up with wanting to work or get a full pension as far as like we're concerned, being government workers or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you work 35 years or something almost like I don't want to work till I'm 65, 60, 65, 70 years old. That's not my goal. I want
Mhm.
to I want to enjoy things. You know what I mean? Well, I'm going to work from 15 to 65 and enjoy 10, 15 years of that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. But I've kind of taken that into consideration now with what I do. Like I might take a day, like if I do get back into the baking, I might take a day and bake up a lot of stuff because sometimes I do randomly go to the store, buy a big 10-pound bag of flour and a 5-pound bag
Really?
of sugar and yeah, and then I'll have it and half of it will go to waste. But I'll just bake stuff and for no reason because I don't need it.
You're a
One
big,
more question. One more question. Do we have a podcast or are we podcasters?
I think we have a podcast.
We have a
let's say
podcast.
I'm gonna shit as a producer. I'm gonna say we have a podcast because if I can answer that shit, then what the fuck am I doing?
If we get to 100 episodes, are we then podcasters? Like, is
I
that
think.
what we do?
Well, the consistency is huge, right? And
Yeah.
watching and listening to like to me, like my go-tos are Brilliant Idiots, Rogan, the Joe Budden podcast, and a couple others. And what I've noticed is, consistency is definitely key.
Yes.
But it's not just consistency. I think it's quality. Quality and the conversations and the fact that it's not just like agenda based to me. There's more value in saying, hey, I like, going on here and we talking about, what I'm saying, big old titties, and we can talk about the value of the breast
Right.
as opposed to the value of covering the breast. You know what I'm saying? And we can go from that perspective and we can just say, hey, listen, we're gonna vote. And taking someone like, like Jay saying, you know what, I am gonna try to watch politics. I think those are the things, those everyday things that people are talking about when they're having beers or hanging out with people that they're comfortable with creates a true podcast. So
Yeah.
I think we got something. To me, that's my
Yeah.
opinion. So no
I
fear.
think so too. I think no rush or whatever. I think once we get into a space where we're all together too, it'll flow a lot better. I think we're doing good virtually. You know what I mean?
Watch the other virtually, man. It's people, shit. I've watched like Colbert, and they have technical issues.
Yeah, everybody has technical issues.
I see a lot of people now going back inside though. Like people.
Yeah,
like,
they
he chose.
A lot of people
I think it'll just be more fun to like be there. We're all together. We're laughing. We can maybe sip on a little something to get us a little bit more loose.
You are really pushing this. You're pushing this.
He wants that. Told you about Jay, man. Hey.
I like getting drunk. It's all right. It's all right.
All right. Well, on that note, I'd like to thank you guys again for, like just forcing me to say, hey, let's get this done. Because sometimes I like to be lazy. I ain't gonna front. You know what I mean?
Your mood changed from this morning.
I told you
it did. I was like, yo, he looks.
Yeah. But like,
it was the hat. When the hat came on, he was good to go.
Like, you guys remember, you probably never seen that Sylvester Stallone movie. It was that arm wrestling movie.
Oh, I did see that. Over the top?
It's something about the conversion. I just turned my head like this and So yeah, what happened with me? I took the hat on.
It was called Over the Top, right? Or something like that.
Hey, this guy's good, man. This guy's good.
Man.
This guy's good.
That's a very random movie that I've seen because there's a lot of movies. There's a lot of movies I have not seen. All the movies that everybody's seen, I haven't seen, but I've seen Over the Top.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie Crash?
Yes, great movie.
Okay, good. Okay.
But I essentially grew up in a movie theater. Like I was forced to go to the movies as a kid. So I think that's kind of why I don't go.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that about you.
I was forced to go to I was a kid because my brothers and sisters are so much older than me, and my parents, they all worked at the same movie theater. So me being as young as I was, there was no one to watch me. I had to go to the movies and was like forced to watch movies the entire time while they worked.
Maybe
so I saw the movie Anaconda a minimum of 10 times.
You watch it because that's the only movie that was good at the time, or for J-Lo?
I think I might have been too young to care about J-Lo, and J-Lo's ass wasn't as nice then. I really like Anacondas. I actually really do like Anacondas. It had Ice Cube in it. You know what I mean?
So you're saying, I'm putting this picture up here. So you're saying you're more focused on the snakes on the plane than the big old turtle?
No. Now not. Back then probably, but not now. Now I want her on my plane.
All right, I'm done. Y'all be good, ladies and gentlemen. It's a different perspective. Y'all be good, man.
Yes, yes.
Peace.
Out of here. Peace.